I repotted this plant and it's exploded. Like, this was not this big last week. Oh god, it was definitely smaller, like half the size. Oh wow, I'm gonna be overtaken by this plant soon. Oh, my tea spilt. How the hell did I do that? I'm already off to a cracking start. Here we go. Hi, Shell. And hello to all you other wonderful weirdos watching. Sometimes they come back. This marks the halfway point of this collection. Okay. Oh, we are halfway through night shift. Halfway. So, sometimes they come back is one of the longer stories in here. And I was expecting like something else, but we get a teacher who's just applying for a person who's just gone through the teacher training and is going to apply for this job, and there is hinted at a breakdown. It was brought up in the interview and he's going to explain it, that he's gone through a bit of a time, but what he doesn't say, not even to his wife, he's not mentioned that he has witnessed from the age of 9 that his 12-year-old brother was killed, and he witnessed that. And it's him dealing with the trauma of that. And I thought this was going to be like the trauma keeps coming back, because it does in his nightmares. And it is so rough that he's got to deal with that. And because he's not telling anybody, he didn't even tell his therapist, or I don't think he said he couldn't afford a proper therapist, but he did do some kind of group therapy session, and just to get over having a breakdown. And so in that breakdown happened because his wife had a car accident, and I think a parent died, and just one thing after another, and it just in the middle of his teacher training, so he wasn't at his best. So yeah, and he's now working as that teacher in the job that he's applied for, and he's just going through the motions, documenting down every time he has his nightmare of being with, I think it's an underpass or an overpass, but something with a train going past. And every time he remembers something new, and we do get the full nightmare and the full memory of how he and his brother were coming back from the library and just getting mugged by this group of lads. And yeah, he only had 4 cents on him, and they called him a liar and just beat him. And his brother just like tries to get one up on them, and just tells his brother to run, and so he does. And as he's looking back, he's watching Wayne be stabbed, and it is brutal for a 9-year-old to go through, and we feel that in his traumatic responses. It is so well written. I have completely forgotten the main protagonist's name. Oh dear. Jim. It's Jim. How did I forget Jim and not Wayne? Anyways, the main protagonist is called Jim. His brother was Wayne, and his wife is Sally. He comes home, and Sally is like such a brilliant wife. Has like bought like a steak dinner all ready to go. Do we have something to celebrate? It's like very supportive wife. It's like just a character I can root for, and a character that we heartbreak when they come back, because his trauma, the people who caused his trauma, those lads come back. They're not 30 as they should be, because he himself is an adult, a teacher teaching teenage school levels. Teenage school, secondary school, or would it be American high school? High school level. I should probably look up what age that is, because that's a different system to what we have. He's teaching teenagers, and he's got different classes, and he's got this one problem class, living with lit, which he's just teaching the problem kids literature, basically. That's all he's doing. But there's problem children, problem teens, like the people that don't want to be taught. They're the ones that act out. They're the ones that think this is all dumb. We get one new person into the class, and he is dumbfounded to realize that that is the exact same face and the exact same birthmark on his chin to one of the attackers from long ago. And it keeps happening, but at the same time, there's an accident that happens to one of his other kids, the kids that he's teaching, and that means that another kid is pulled in from the exact same high school as the other one, like a transfer, and then the accidents keep happening, stop disappearing to make room for the next kid in the group that attacked him when he was 9. They keep coming in, and they are acting like the worst. They've teamed up with one of the worser boys in that class, and even then, that boy that was originally in that class that wasn't part of the main group, he gets freaked out by these lads. He gets freaked out because they're just like, he gets flunked in a test, and he's just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get you if you flunk me, and he flunks him, and he fails him. So then he's basically telling these lads that came into the class that are the evil lads that have attacked him from before. He's telling them, but those guys, oof, those are taking this threat seriously, whereas the normal kid, he just was just like, oh, I was just gonna like slash his tires. But no, they were gonna like take that literally and go kill him, kill the teacher, our Jim. And so it's like an unfinished business story done through a haunting. I think the worst part is when he's trying to find answers, but he can't actually explain it to people because they're just gonna find him crazy, because he knows that these lads are the ones that were attacking him and his brother, that killed his brother. And so he phones up the policeman who was on the case trying to find his brother's killer and trying to get like information that way. And turns out a year later from his brother's murder, those group of kids were in a car accident. I mean, one wasn't in that car accident because he went off and joined the army. So he goes off to try and find the answers, try and figure this out. He's even reading the instruction manual. There's an instruction manual. I don't know what it is about these worlds. I don't know what it is about these particular haunting stories, but there's always an instruction manual. I mean, just like the possessed industrial iron, there was an instruction manual. So he's reading something called Rising Demons, and so he's just reading it to try and figure out how to like put them back into the afterlife. The problem arises is when he actually confronts the leader of the group, the leader of the gang, Vinny, and Vinny is just like, doesn't deny any of it, because the whole thing's been nonchalantly like not explicit up until this moment. Like, this is what they are. It's like, I'm pretty sure these kids are the same kids that attacked me and Wayne, but they just act like normal kids in the class. That's basically what is happening. And he's trying to go about this rationally until he actually gets his answers. And it's just like, yeah, I know who you are. And they don't deny it. They say that they're coming for him. And yeah, is even a horrible threat towards his wife. I will always, I nearly cried because, oh my God, she just went to her pottery class. And just a few hours later, because that was also when he like phones up the policeman for the second time to get his answers. The moment he puts his phone down, it's ringing again, and we're thinking it's going to be Vinny, but it's actually the hospital. They actually followed through on their threats, and that meant Jim has nothing left to lose, because he actually confronts them going, right, I'm going to be in room 33 and we're going to have this out, and I'll even bring the train. And so he has this epic like confrontation at the end, and it is quite a lot. It is quite grand and epic. Even though they're just in a school classroom, but they are like menacing because he's set up his pentagram, he's thrown all of this stuff in, and he's even cut off his index fingers to get this spell just to banish these lads back to the afterlife. And I do appreciate King realizing that the first one will be easy, but he's fumbling with the second because he doesn't have that to, yeah, he's now got no index fingers. So that's the length at which he has had enough. That is the length at which he's going to be rid of these lads forever, because there was no need to go after the wife, but they did, and we are basically hoping this works. We are left really hoping this is not a bad ending, because King so far has ended every single one of his stories with having a tragic ending of some kind. Yeah, I was hoping it wasn't going to happen, because these lads need to be dealt with, and dealt with now. So just having that confrontation, he even goes and gets a record of a freight train and puts it over the speaker system in the school, and I'm just like, what kind of school has that on record? But okay, I enjoyed this just because it just dove into trauma and the effects it has on you later in life so well, and I just felt myself break for Jim. Oh, my heart just went out for Jim, just because he's dealt with this his entire life and he's not even spoken about it. Oh dear, oh gosh. And not even trusting his wife with this information, which is weird. Normally, if you're marrying somebody, you should be like cluing them in on what you are worried about. I do not care if you don't want to worry them or you don't want them to react in a certain way. They're your partner. You should. And Sally is so understanding. She would have understood. We don't get him talking about it to anybody, and he's just left alone to deal with it, which is sad. And I suppose it kind of makes it quite epic in scope as well, just because it's him up against this group. I was half expecting this to be like a supernatural episode where he's got to go to their graves and set their corpses alight, but nah, just to summon a demon to deal with things. Also, that lovely little hint at the end that something else might have come up. Like, there's a shadow that just like moves out the corner of his eye, and it's just like, yeah, there's something else here now. There's something else here. But this is definitely a short story that I've enjoyed. Wow, just it also makes you really sympathetic to teachers and what they have to deal with. I'm just glad I decided not to become a teacher when I thought that might have been one of the paths that I look into for a job. Glad I didn't. Too much stress. I swear, if I did become a teacher and my old bullies decided to come back to haunt me, that would be terrible. But yeah, that is the short story for this week. I did enjoy it. It was really good. One of the better ones. It's high up there. It's high up there. I think it's just because I can really sympathise with the trauma. It's very heartbreaking trying to deal with something from a young age. It's very difficult. Anyways, I hope you're having a good weekend, and find your instruction manual for dealing with evil spirits that have come back to get you. So there is an instruction manual out there for whatever problem you're facing. You just have to find it. Anyway, bye, Shell, and bye to all you other wonderful weirdos watching. Bye.